I just can't wait. 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 I just can't wait to see a chapter 11 from RadioShack. I can't wait. RadioShack, I can't wait. RadioShack, I can't wait. Can't wait. Well, the long wait is over. It's finally happened. As of February 6, 2015, RadioShack is kaput, as we know it. Now they might get bought out by Sprint or Amazon, as far as I know. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but well, it was coming. I knew the end was coming. I think we all knew the end was coming. I didn't think it wasn't rocket science. And it's kind of sad. RadioShack was a part of my life. I learned a lot from RadioShack. A lot of my stuff, my hobby and stuff, I could attribute it to RadioShack. And it's kind of sad to see it go. It's kind of the end of an era. So this is my tribute to RadioShack. If you were a person growing up back in the 70s, 80s, probably even the 90s too, RadioShack was the place to go and to get parts. If you're building electronic projects, parts, or doing to get electronic kits and all kinds of cool stuff there. And I wanted to show you some of the items that I bought at RadioShack over the years. Okay, this is the first item. This is the first item I bought from RadioShack when I was about 11 years old. It was for about $3.95. It was on sale for, and I bought this thing. It was the Science Fair Crystal Radio, and it worked really well. It was probably one of the first really good crystal radio I had. It was I did have a Remco crystal radio set before, but I didn't like Remcos. I've seen a few of them being used. I had a few friends as little kids and stuff that we had Remcos and stuff, and they didn't perform as good as the Science Fair. And there was this one here. The second item was the 6501 electronic project kit that I got when I was about 12, and it was pretty cool. He had lots of neat projects on there. It even had one of a spark gap generator and an AM transmitter that actually did work. I'm not sure what the actual range on it was, but it did actually get a sound. It actually worked on an AM radio. Okay, here's another RadioShack kit. It was the police VHF monitor kit. It went from about 142 to about 174 for megahertz. And it was pretty cool. I could listen to the local police on it and stuff, and the fire department and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Okay, here's a little tour of some of the stuff I bought at RadioShack that have survived to this day. The first one is a realistic TRC 421A CB radio, 40 channel AM only. It's pretty basic. It's a pretty basic CB radio and stuff. I think it was bought about 1979, 1980, around there. And I've used it for DXing and shoot and skip and stuff, and it works pretty good. And on top of that is a Micronta SWR meter. What it does is basically it's hooked up between the antenna and a transmitter. It could be a CB radio or a VHF or any other kind of transmitter in that. And what you do is you hook the antenna in between there, and what it does is that you do an SWR reference. Basically, this is how it works. So when you hit your transmitter, you turn your transmitter on, and you do a calibration. It would go like this. You turn your transmitter on. You set it up. You calibrate it, and then hit your reference, and then you'd hit about maybe 1.1. That's where you want your you want it just barely turning, and that's usually when you know your antenna is properly tuned and it should work effectively and won't wear out your transmitter as much. And over here we have a pair of TRC 217s by Realistic, and this walkie-talkie particularly has is about 2.5 watts. So I've learned off the net on the information I've been able to find these. I bought these at a garage sale for about $10 for both of them, and there's two of them, and they're both 40 channel, and it's got a high power, low power option on the switch there in the top, and it's got an extendable antenna which is goes out to about a little over 4 feet, and it works pretty good. You can use it for monitoring skip and all that stuff. And I've never tried using it for shooting skip yet, but it does have like an option that you can hook up an RCA plug on the side, but you will probably need a TL259 adapter to hook it up to it. But you should be able to hook it up to your Antron 99 if you ever decide to do that. Okay, next up is a little item here. It's called it's like a little an antenna booster, a signal booster that you can plug into your FM radio, like a little portable radio. It could be an FM radio, or if you have a BNC connector, you could hook it up to your scanner. And he's got little antennas that extend outward. This one's a little bit shorter. You can pull out hard. They're usually about 2.5 feet or so. And that'll you can use it on your scanner, and it gives a better reception and stuff than a normal rubber duck antenna or a stock antenna might do. And behind there is my shortwave receiver, the DX390. I bought in '92, and it's a pretty cool radio. It's pretty basic. It's got sideband, and it's got about I think about 18 shortwave channels and 10 AM, 10 FM, and about 10 long wave channels and stuff. And it's a pretty cool radio. I've had it for about over 20 years and stuff, and it's still doing the job. And another one here is my scanner. It's a Pro 2022. And it's I bought that back in 1990. That was around the height of the scanner hobby. A bunch of my friends owned scanners too, but they were the smaller little 10-channel ones, the cheaper ones. And we used to monitor the local police. I had a booster antenna hooked up to this one here, and I could pick up signals from Vancouver and all over Vancouver Island. This radio was pretty cool. I could do a lot of neat stuff with it. These days I use it more for monitoring airline frequencies and stuff, like airline communications and stuff, because I listen to a lot of aircraft, and I like watching aircraft fly and stuff. So I usually listen to it most nowadays for aircraft monitoring, since the police have all gone crypto in my area. So it's kind of put an end to that. And last but and a book. I got a book here that's kind of really cool too. It's an antenna book. It's the RadioShack Antennas Selection and Installation, and it's got some pretty neat stuff in here. It's got stuff on antenna theory and stuff on building Yagi antennas. And you can design your own Yagi. It's got like stuff on folded dipoles and stacked antennas, and it's got a little formula that you can use on any frequency, and you can calculate your formulas for hooking up for making a Yagi antenna for whatever frequency you want. And this book was really good for that. It was I bought this back in 1989. You can it's used for like it's for installing like CB radios, cellulars as they would have been back in 1989, and a whole bunch of other stuff here. It's got TV antennas and satellites, and it's a pretty good book. And last but not least is probably one of the coolest thing RadioShack ever made, in my view, just because I think it was it helped launch the careers of a lot of DJs, turntable artists, like guys that scratch, do vinyl scratching and stuff. This mixer was used for that. I think a lot of prominent DJs from the early days of hip hop use these mixers and stuff. And Mix Master Mike, I think I remember him using one of these back in the early days and stuff. And these were quite common. I think RadioShack made this item for quite a few years. It's got like 2 channels. It's got 2 channels that you can mix 2 turntables or tape deck or CD players and stuff. And it's got 3 microphone mixes and a master volume mixer. It's got Q buttons and stuff so you can cue up your disc. And it's got like little level stuff in here. You can go, and it's pretty cool. But I would say that was probably one of the coolest things that RadioShack ever made. It was pretty far out. Well, there you have it. This is my salute to RadioShack. It's definitely an era gone by, and it's kind of a shame to see it go. But I think it's a sign of the times. I think a lot of things contributed to RadioShack's demise. I think you're looking at it right now. It's the internet and the arrival of the iPod. I have 3 of them, and the more advancements of cell phones and stuff, I think it did itself in. But I think in the long run, I think RadioShack did themselves in. I think they made a few bad decisions. I think they kind of alienated a lot of the hobbyists and stuff. And personally, I never had a reason to go there. Well, in fact, I haven't set foot in a Radio Shack in probably 10 years. I live in Canada and stuff, and our Radio Shacks were renamed The Source. And I didn't like The Source as much as I liked Radio Shack, and I still went there and shopped. There's a few stuff I'd had there that I bought, and I didn't really care much for a lot of their stuff there. There were a lot of things that Radio Shack had that they didn't have, and but more or less they were pretty much a clone of Radio Shack. And I'm not sure the status of their what's happening with them, but I would guess they're probably struggling too. They've closed a few stores in Nanaimo and stuff, and there's a couple places. There was a place in Parksville that just shut down, so they're no longer stationed there anymore. So it's definitely their days might be number 2 as well. So this is my salute to Radio Shack back in their glory days before it all slowly started to suck. Anyways, I'm out of here. This has been Red F196. I say goodbye and rest in peace.